Hey everybody, it's Merkel, and today in this one I wanted to cover some stuff on the beta once again. I was going to do this a while back, but I was going to go over like the gathering professions, where herbs are found, mining, skinning, all that great stuff. Now, this is just basic information. It's not like optimal farming routes, because honestly I don't know how an optimal farming route would look right now. So it's just like where you can find the herbs, the importance of skinning this time around. Skinning has a greater deal of importance, and just about mining nodes and things like that too. Anyways, let's get into it. So firstly, I'm going to cover herbs. Now, herbs, like before, they always have specific locations they grow, but it's not unique to zones, with the exception of like 2 of the herbs. It's more just like biomes. So we're going to go down the list and cover where each herb grows. Coombs Bite. Let's head to where Coombs Bite grows. So here we are at our first herb, a Coombs Bite. Now, a Coombs Bite is only found in one zone. That could change, but it's so close to launch now, I highly doubt it's going to. And it makes sense because there's an alliance herb that kind of balances it out. So a Coombs Bite is kind of like the horde herb because it's found only in Vol'dun. It's very, very rare. It's quite scarce. Like, it's so hard to find this stuff. I'm sure there'll be optimal farming paths when lots of people start farming and stuff, but Coombs Bite, it is going to probably be pretty valuable considering how rare it is, and it's used in 3 important things. So I don't have any of the recipes that it's used in. It's Flask of the Currents, which is the agility flask, Flask of the Undertow, it's the strength flask, and then a Transmute Expulsum. I can see people using it for this specifically. So it takes 10 there, 15 there. Of course, there's ranks on this, which will bring it down. But I might also add rank 3 on all these. It's create multiple flasks like it was before in Legion, but there's no RNG. You have to get reputations to purchase the ranks on the final rank on all your stuff. So you can get the rank 3 flask without having RNG. You simply need revered and specific reputations for each flask. So there you go. Coombs Bite, it's going to be expensive for that. And definitely hard to find. Really hard to find. Specific to Vol'dun though. So if you get these early on, make sure to keep them. They're going to be worth a lot. Let's move on to the next herb, which is Anchorweed. This is actually the green herb for this expansion. And I'll show you where it grows. Alright, so we have finally found a little Anchorweed here. This is the green herb. Let's see where it is in our bag. There we are, bag. Anchorweed. Now, Anchorweed is found in place of 2 different herbs. It replaces the herbs node, so it's found in place of Riverbud or Sea Stalk. So there's no real farming Anchorweed. Rather, you're farming these 2 herbs, and occasionally you're going to find an Anchorweed in place of one of the spawn points. So, very scarce. In the time it took my character from 110 to 120, I only got these 36. And I had like 200 of each of these before I started using them in alchemy to try and get levels up and check some stuff out. But yes, very, very scarce. An idea, I ran this entire coast up here, and then I took the flight path over here, and I ran all this coast till I found one here. I did find plenty of sea stalks. I could have took them, but I didn't want to backtrack. I wanted to see how long it would take me simply to find one, and I was going to go up this way. So sea stalk is, of course, as it says, near the sea. You'll find sea stalks on the outer edge, and then riverbud you find on inside rivers. But you'll see in a second when we go cover that herb. So there it is, Anchorweed, the green rare herb from this expansion. Very rare indeed. If you're farming it, you're going to be farming one of these other 2 things and occasionally just stumbling upon it. Now, the uses for Anchorweed, it's used in a lot of recipes, so it's rare and very very valuable, especially this one. I'm interested to see what this ends up going for. This is champion equipment, because all champion equipments in this expansion are going to be kind of like resource providers. As you can see, this potion of herb tracking It's 100 Sirens Pollen, we'll go over that in a bit, 30 of the Expulsum stuff, and then 1 Hydrocore. And this is obtained kind of like frozen orbs and things like that. So, Potion of Herb Tracking. I don't know how much it's going to give, probably about maybe a stack of 20 or something like that at best. Maybe even that's overdoing it, but it takes 30 of these. This is gonna go for quite a bit, especially with the Expulsum cost too. Like, this is a really expensive thing to make. And then for the Unlearned, of course, Anchorweed is used in quantities of 10 for the flasks. This will be reduced on rank 2, but it's a lot. Anchorweed's going to be very, very expensive. It's also used in the Transmute in smaller quantity, but yes, it's going to be very expensive. Oh, I get it. Okay, I was like, what? But yes, there you go. Those are the uses for Anchorweed. Let's go check out now River Bud. Like I said, this is the other herb you're going to be farming, and occasionally you'll find Anchorweed, but I'll show you where this stuff can be. So here we are. We have a River Bud right here, and River Bud grows along the water of any inland area. So as long as you're near water inland, you'll find River Bud aplenty. Now, as soon as you go into the outer reaches a little bit, you can probably see from here a sea stalk down there. So it's really not that far outwards, and you'll start seeing sea stalk as soon as you're... Let's go down here a bit. Ta-da. Because I saw one on the way up here. There you go. It's probably a sea stalk right there. Yeah, see? There's a sea stalk. So this grows near all the ocean areas. And these are the 2 herbs that you're going to farm when you're looking for the Anchorweed. Because Anchorweed can replace any of the nodes with itself on a very rare occasion. And that's how you get it in plentiful amounts. So I guess a good farming route would just be something like this. You would pretty much go around the edge, inwards, back around, or something like that. Make it as short as possible because you don't want to miss any Anchorweed spawns that you may have made. So maybe something like this. Back around this way. Because if you're the one spawning the Anchorweed, you're the one trying to get it too. So you don't want to lose it. So pretty short, but something like that maybe. Alright, let's move on to the next herb, which is Sirens Pollen, I'm pretty sure. Yes, indeed. Let's go find a bit of that. So here we are. A perfect example of Siren Stings. I'm not that far off of where I just was, actually. You can see I barely moved. Siren Sting is found quite commonly. It's actually a pretty common herb. I might have a lot of it in my inventory right now, honestly. Doesn't look like it at the moment. I must have used it all when leveling up alchemy. But Siren Sting is the thing that gives you Siren's Pollen. You can see it grows next to a tree all the time, or attached to a tree, or around trees, things like that. It's pretty easy to come by lots of it, honestly. You saw there was 3 spawns right here in close proximity. Any kind of tree area seems to grow. Occasionally this stuff will summon a bee that will attack you. Now the bee originally wasn't dropping any herbs, but they may drop them now. Just like any random event that attacks you when you're collecting nodes and stuff. But yes, it's grown simply next to trees. Star moss, it's not that. But you can find it in bountiful amounts. It's not hard at all to get a bunch of this stuff really quickly. I don't know where this best zone for farming this is. According to some people, it's Nazmir, because Nazmir has lots and lots of trees and stuff. So this area, lots of trees and things to collect it on. But I'm sure as soon as it launches, we'll get all kinds of optimal routes. Anyways, let's move to our next herb, which is Star Moss. So much like in real life with moss, Star Moss chooses to grow in all kinds of places. Underneath bridge, this stuff likes to be attached to buildings in the towns in Battle for Azeroth, so it's pretty easy to find it actually when going through a town. So you can see another piece of it attached there to the underneath the bridge. I'm going to fly over to a town real quickly. Not this one, like a smaller one of the smaller towns, and you'll see it's all over the place inside of the town. So make sure to look at your mini map when you're going into a town. But let me just take the flight path real quick. So here we are, stopped in one of the towns that, like I said, as you can see, star moss all over the place. Some on the building there, some apparently on the building again over here. Gosh, it's hard to find this stuff. There it is, on the inside of the building. And then a little bit more over there on the bridge. Lots of times, this is where you're going to find it. Again, over there on the bridge. Just look for buildings, things like that. That's where it tends to grow. So if you can find a good route that has lots of buildings or bridges and things like that, you'll find all kinds of star moss. Let's move to our last herb, the Winter's Kiss. Alright, and for the last herb, we have Winter's Kiss, which is kind of like the Alliance version of a Coombs Bite. So the Horde have a Coombs Bite specific to Zandalar and Vol'dun. The Alliance have Winter's Kiss, which is not specific to just Drustvar. This just seems like the best place to get it. Drustvar has lots of snowy area, which is where it's found, but I did find it over here in Tierguard Sound, a couple snowy places. Did find a bit, but not nearly as much as you do in Drustvar. Now the exception is Coombs Bite is pretty hard and pretty scarce. Winter's Kiss, it's fairly common. You can see one there. This is a Siren Sting attached to a tree over there. And then we got another for Winter's Kiss. This is why I said Drustvar is better. Look, Winter's Kiss, it's all over the place. There's no lacking of this herb. So I can see it honestly being pretty cheap, as it's very abundant. It's just all over the place. It's crazy. Again, located to only snowy regions. You could honestly just go up and down this area in probably like a fashion like that and get a whole bunch of it. It's very easy to get in large quantities though. It's used in place of the Coombs Bite in the 2 potion flasks that, see if you look at Winter's Kiss. Unlearned. The other 2 flasks, which are Flask of Endless Phasm, Intellect, and then Flask of Vast Horizon, Stamina. It's also used in Expulsum. The 2 of them together are used in the Transmute, and it's also used in the Surging Thing. Again, though, it's far more common. You can see I have almost 200 of it. And that was without really any effort. I was just collecting them as I went while I leveled the first time around. Makes sense that I don't have a Coombs Bite. Alliance obviously don't level in Vol'dun, but it's still way more common, and I can guarantee that. Maybe in Vol'dun they'll find a better way to get a Coombs Bite eventually, but who knows. Now, let's move on to mining. There isn't a whole bunch to be said about mining, but I will cover a few things. So for mining, I'm not really going to go out and show you where to find them because it's just like any other expansion, really. You mine along mountainsides and inside of mountains and stuff like that, and you'll find them. I don't know if there's any real rhyme or rhythm. I could find both types of ores in every region. Platinum ore is the rare version of ore this time around, and it just simply occasionally replaces the mining nodes. Now, you do have to come back to the trainer after 25 levels because you're going to get Monolite Seam rank, Platinum Deposit rank, and Storm Silver Seam rank, because the first ranks are obtained through just purchasing. You see, I bought Monolite Deposit. Look, I'll drop it again real quick just to show you. I learned it through the vendor. I didn't go out and mine them. Just the first rank is simply purchased. See? And then it gives me rank 1 in those. And then after a while, I think maybe level 40 in the profession. So after you've gotten 40 ranks in your Colteron 1 out of 150, you're going to get a quest for the next one and stuff like that. It's not RNG based. You simply come back to the trainer every once in a while to do some quests, and the quests unlock the next rank. Same goes for herbalism. Keep that in mind. After you've done a lot of herbalism stuff, simply come back to the vendor and they're going to offer you quests to get those ranks so you get more stuff. Like before, the seams are kind of like in water as well as in caves, and that's really the only difference, you know. Nothing changed a whole lot. The RNG based thing, I'm glad it's gone, because sometimes you do thousands of nodes before you ended up getting that rank 3. It was pretty crazy. Anyways, I'm going to cover skinning here, because skinning has some pretty big stuff this time around. It's very important. I'm going to show you on the trainer over here. Again, it's the same thing. A lot of the stuff is simply learned rank 1 at the trainer. So don't forget to just simply spam click to learn this stuff. Get your first rank in it. You can go on without it, but I mean, you're just missing out if you don't go ahead and get the first rank and stuff. I'm gonna go skin some things and show you though what you can expect, really. Well, it turns out I was incorrect. Early on in Battle for Azeroth Beta, the skinners were the only way to obtain meat, essentially. So all the materials you need for cooking and stuff was obtained through skinning. I thought this was a way to make skinning more important, but it turns out that was simply a bug and is no longer the case. Therefore, skinning does not hold as big of an importance as I thought it did. Now, it's still, you know, you can see here I skinned 4 monsters. I received a couple things there. Tempest Hide, Calcified Bone, Tempest Hide, Calcified Bone, Tempest Hide, Calcified Bone, Coarse Leather, things like that. Just the usual stuff. And you can see there, I used some of the Coarse Leather to make something, and some of the Bloodstained Bones. You get a lot of stuff. I mean, the rate at which you're using it doesn't seem like it's offset by the amount that you're actually using. So, look at that. It only takes 30 Tempest Hide and 14 Calcified Bones at rank 1. And that's before, you know, greatly reducing the material cost. Makes you wonder, because it's going to give you a... You can turn this stuff and destroy it at the Scrap-O-Matic over there. And the Scrap-O-Matic was the main way to obtain Expulsum. You can get Expulsum through mining, herbalism, and skinning now as well. But I don't know, it just seems like you're gonna get these things at a far greater rate than you're actually using them, based on how many are dropping right now. I mean, there are things up here that require lots of the extra stuff here. You see, like Calcified Bone, Hardened Tempest Hide, and then yeah. I just don't feel like... I feel like you're getting so many from skinning and not using them as fast. I don't know. We'll see. Again, there's more ranks, so you're gonna get even more later on. Anyways, thank you for watching. Hope this little review, I guess, is helpful to you in some way. Just wanted to cover a couple of things, utility stuff like that. So I hope it was helpful. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.